Imagine being able to create a
You codified support for same-sex marriage and interracial marriages like ours. I'm curious what your evolution was like on marriage equality and what the federal government might be able to do to protect LGBTQ Americans, especially trans kids who are dealing with all these regressive state laws that are popping up right now.
I can remember exactly where my epiphany was.
Okay.
I hadn't thought much about it, to tell you the truth. And I was a senior in high school, and my dad was dropping me off. I remember about to get out of the car, and I looked to my right, and two well-dressed men in suits kissed each other. I mean, they gave each other a kiss. And then one looked like he was heading to the DuPont building, and one looked like he headed to the Hercules Corporation building. And I'll never forget, I turned and looked at my dad. He said, "Joey, it's simple. They love each other. It's simple." No, I'm not joking. It's simple. They love each other. And it's never been, it's never been, it's just that simple. It doesn't matter whether it's same sex or a heterosexual couple. They should be able to be married. What is the problem? You know, think about this. The world's going to Hades in a handbasket. We are desperately concerned about the circumstance relating to avian flu. We don't have enough vaccines. We don't have enough police officers. And we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here? I can remember exactly where my epiphany was.
Okay.
Choke on your lies! Oh, shit! God, shit!
This is the book of James, chapter 1, and point is verse 8. I'm going to start up. This is James 1, and I'm going to start at verse 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. It says in the scriptures, come to the throne of the Most High boldly. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to called Loyim, like Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rachakadosh Wakatham. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who do teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua out there listening and learning, Lord willingly. This is an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, which appear like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say Shalom. This is your brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church. I'm a fellow servant, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shema Shai. And basically, courtesy of the beloved elder Yasher Wumba from the GMS Dallas camp, he has a page called Two Through, where he he posts his little posts or videos, just showing how Babylon the Great, aka America, is bugged out and going to, is going down. And I happen to be watching it today, and Lord willingly, I don't think the elder gonna get too offended, but I, played the copyright nonetheless, because the original video might get flagged just on my thing or whatever. You know what I mean? So, anyhow, sometimes the spirit be, Lord do different things to different people, and just because one man can do this doesn't mean everybody has their lots. But saying all to say this, I found it interesting, and I'm sure the elder did too, and that's why I thought, as soon as I seen it, him contradict himself in the title "Double-Minded Joe," I thought of James 1:8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You supposed to be confident in the Lord. You know what I mean? How you gonna go? And they're just showing you the corruption, and like I constantly say it in videos. This place was supposed to be founded by pilgrims and Puritans and whatnot, based on biblical principles, correct? But yet and still, this place has only been founded for a couple 100 years, and yet and still you went from the Bible, which tells you a man should not lay with mankind, to, all out, Babylon the Great, aka America. And he said, he made a statement about they love each other and what's wrong with that and whatnot. Well, what's wrong with it is the scripture and the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua tell you that is a abominable act, and he's not with that. This is the book of Leviticus. It's mentioned throughout the scriptures, but going to the law, because Leviticus goes into the law. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, and the point is verse 13. And if a man also lie with mankind, so let's go into that word mankind. Zakor, male, man, child, kind. Him, male, man, child. So if a man lay with another man as he lieth with a woman, so, this is not confusion, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, how a man would lay with a woman, we ain't talking about y'all all in the army and y'all land in the, like how Uriah the Hittite would basically sleep amongst his soldiers, when David was trying to basically get him to go home to sleep with his wife so he could think that he got her pregnant. That was totally different. It was camaraderie. It was, when a leader has a good reputation with his soldiers, that leader is highly esteemed. And he made a statement. He said, roughly paraphrased, he said something like, he wouldn't feel right if he laid home and was in the bed with his wife while his soldiers was out on the hard ground sleeping. You know what I mean? So long story short, though, no, it's talking about when a man lays with a woman, when he basically, plows into her, when he knows her, basically, That's why in the scriptures, when the two angels, when Lot basically and the people, those individuals, I want to say it was Benjamites, basically wanted to get to know the angels. They said, let us know them. But that was going until they wanted to have relations with them. So, back to Leviticus 20:13, it says, if a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So that's an abominable act in the eyes of the Most High. So creepy, sneaky Joe basically saying, what does it matter? Who cares? Well, the Most High cares. And that's one of the reasons why this place is going to be judged. When you go into the book of Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 10, it talks about the city of confusion. Isaiah 24 verse 10, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up and no man may come in. What is the city of confusion? America, a.k.a. Babylon the Great. America, a.k.a. Babylon the Great, is the only, well, I ain't going to say the only place, but they push that philosophy, that wine, that doctrine that, a man could be with a man, a woman could be with a woman. And that's going to be partly the reason why this place is going to be judged the way it's going to be judged. The Most High is visiting the earth right now through a multitude of ways, through the increase in violence, through the pestilences, through the plagues. He just visited the world through that earthquake that killed 50,000 people. You know, he just visited the world when he at the last year around Christmas time when he sent that Arctic blast. And even if Esau did manipulate things, when you understand the scriptures, you know, because they have the technology. When you know you go check out information like Operation Popeye, that's when they first began to manipulate the weather. During Vietnam, it was either Vietnam or World War. I think it was the Vietnam War though. But nonetheless, it tells you in the scriptures in the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus that all things bend to the will of the Most High. You know, basically you don't have free will. The Most High, you are programmed to do what you do. You know, if you're programmed to be a wicked individual, that's what your spirit is, and that's what you're gonna do. You know, but I was just listening to the elder apostles, their last camp, and they said, but ultimately, you know, all Jake are the saints because they're Israelites. You know, and the saints are gonna come back in their lot. You know, so with that being said, but you know, this place is a city of confusion because of the fact they push that vibration. You know, a man could be with a woman could be with a man. You know, this man literally said some things. What? I don't know. He looked a lot younger than I can tell you that at that time. That's probably around the time when he helped form that crime bill and whatnot back in the 90s when he was pushing for that CHIP, you know, which you got video on that, you know, when he was telling that Supreme Court judge or justice that how basically you were going to have to vote on that implantable CHIP. You know, and the scriptures talk about, you know, the devil's a liar, you know, that's why you shouldn't really trust these people. You know, scriptures say, what's that? Psalms 58. Matter of fact, let me get that. Psalms 58. Book of Psalms, chapter 58. And the point is verse 3. This is Psalms 58 and verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. Let's go on that word estranged. Strange woman. To turn aside. Profane. They outside the temple. They already, you know. You know, when you go into that word profane, it means to be outside the temple. You know. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. And, you know, when you go into the dragon and the serpent and, you know, well, a dragon is just a huge serpent, you know. And, you know, when you go into the Roman Empire, this dragon, or Revelations 13, the dragon, you know, that's, you know, these devils, you know, because they the same people coming back because everything is reincarnated, you know. And, you know, the Most High is so cold, if you have the spiritual eye salve, you will see it. You know, I was watching the elder Yashawamba going into Maccabees, first Maccabees, and when it's talking about how they was hanging Jake. And then you look at what they was doing to our people in the 40s and 50s with the Ku Klux Klan. You know, these proud devils, so proud, but had to hide behind masks. You know what I mean? And it's power in numbers, so yeah, I'm sure they got a thrill out of that shit. You know, but, you know, the scriptures talk about because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, they think that they got away with something. But through the spirit, they also could feel, they feel it. These devils feel their time is up. That's why they about to start working so hard, you know, and gonna come down with great wrath to bring this, you know, this into fruition. And fuck our sellouts, you know, the sellouts of our people, you know, like that fucking Justin Bibb, look like a fucking weirdo. He look like a faggot. Or that Lori Lightfoot, you know, they sold us out to try to eat off of the tables of the rich man, you know, not understanding that the table's going to turn. So these devils ultimately lie, you know. So I'm not surprised at that. You know, it made me think of another scripture too. John 8 and 44. So this is the book of Psalms 55 and verse 20, and it reads, Salakia. How'd that happen? I didn't even do anything. Satan. Maybe it's me. Everything ain't Satan, huh? This is the book of Psalms chapter 55 and verse 20. He has put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He have broken his covenant. And when you go into that, it makes you think about the treaties that he made with, the Gadites and the Reubenites, who are 2 of the 12 tribes of Israel. When you go into that, this devil literally made peace treaties, and then he broke the treaties and then called Gad and Reuben savages, though. When you go into that history, Reuben never made any treaties with him, It says, verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So at the end of the day, this devil speak peaceably. Made me think of Antiochus Epiphanes, because we was going into Daniel chapter 11. And he was talking about how him and Ptolemy, I believe the sixth, basically, which was his family, basically, he made him a puppet leader, but they both was running game on each other. They was politicking, They both really was plotting, but they talking peaceably and with smooth words, And that's what makes this devil subtle. He'll conquer with the sword, with the hammer, with the sword, but he'll also, use smooth words. But when the words ain't working, he'll come on with the sword. The beloved Elder Malcolm from Chicago, brothers was bringing that up like last week. They was talking about how this devil will be up there, democracy, and then grenade. He'll say peace and safety, and then sudden destruction. And 2/3 of our people are in that same mindset. Like they really, hawking on their own people. And like I said, they got a judgment for that. People like, what's that fucking Dwayne Wade that would willingly allow his son to, transform himself like that. That's some wicked ass shit. All for filthy lucre when the money ain't even worth shit. You seeing that now with these banks crashing? It's the book of John chapter 8 and verse 44. And it reads, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. Now this is red letter, so this is Yahushua Mashiach, who you people ignorantly call God, and Jesus, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, speaking. When we see the red letters, we know that's Yahushua Mashiach speaking. And he's talking to 2/3 Israel. He's talking to Israel. He said, you're like your father, the devil. And who's the devil? When it said Psalms 58, it talked about the wicked. Who is the wicked? Well, the book of Malachi chapter 1, verse 4 tells you who the wicked is. Esau, Edom. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speak of a lie, he speak of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So, this devil is, the father of lies, and they're going to lie all the way to the end. They're going to be lying to people where they literally walking them to the fucking containment camps. Oh yeah, everything's good. They lying to you now, talking about your money's safe. Your money ain't fucking safe. So, and anybody that fall for it, they rightly deserve it. This is truth. Matter of fact, John 8 and 44 just said that, said this is the truth. I think it was that one. I'm going to get it from this one real quick because I don't feel like trying to find the exact one. 8. It says, John 8 and 45, and because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. And that's ultimately the will of the Lord. You can't be chosen for the truth. There's many called, but few are chosen. You got men to come in this thing and fall out, and the Lord had already had that set up. He know your spirit because he's the father of them. And I constantly think of that. I pray that I'm not in that lot, because like I said, it's going to be men and women that's going to face things that you be like, wow, but the Lord put that spirit in them to be able to overcome. That's what a champion is, to overcome. Makes you think of the story in Maccabees with the mother and her 7 sons, And I was listening to the elder apostle Tahar. He was talking about how a lot of Israelites and the brother Bakar Amah from Men of Valor, a lot of the Israelites converted to Antiochus Epiphanes when he tried to bring everybody on to take on the Greekish ways because they didn't want to die. But you're going to be tried in this thing as gold. And those that basically, come through it are gonna be like gold, you know. The brothers with the more powerful spirits are gonna literally go through the more enduring trials. Call Loyim La Yahweh Shah, that all the faithful men endure. I pray that I am of that number. So this is truth, you know. But this devil has turned the world upside down. He got people believing in lies and shunning the truth. And it's a recompense for that. You know, so at the end of the day, like I said, this man literally just got caught. And I'm grateful that the elder Yashawamba posted this. Because you literally catching the devil in a fucking lie. But people are so dumbfounded and literally under the spell that they gonna still believe this fucking devil. They painting this man to be the worst president in history. And next year, you know, you got, you know, elections again. And as much as they talk about Trump is caught up in, you got these Edomites these Edomites is behind this man. So he'll just walk right in. And you can clearly see that if you got the spiritual eyesight. You know, they talk about that Biden ran this country to the ground, but Trump's supposed to saved it. You know what I mean? When he added to this shit. You know what I mean? He the one started the gig jobs that are actually crashing and failing because of the Silicon Valley situation, the bank out there. So, like I said again, if you trust this devil, the Most High basically got you deceived. And it tells you in the scriptures that the deceived and the deceiver are both his. You know, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus or the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Look at Gad and Reuben. They helped this fucking devil. And what did he do? He basically put them in slavery and killed them off. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. And he did that again to Gad and Reuben. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Make me think of who was that in the book of Esther? The Edomite. I can't think of him, but basically when you go into the Apocrypha and the editions of Esther, it go into how he basically was trying to assassinate Artaxerxes. You know, so he was basically put in a position, but he was going to utilize that position to basically kill Artaxerxes and take the throne. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So at the end of the day, you know, make you think of that old saying about, you know, well, that old tale about the I think it was a serpent and a frog, and the serpent, or it was some animal that the serpent needed to cross the water. And basically, the animal was leery at first, but then it agreed, and then the serpent bit him. And he like, what you doing? He like, shit, we both gonna die. He said, well, it's my nature. I'm a serpent. What did you expect? You know what I mean? And that's this devil. Scriptures talk about who can make straight with whom the Most High made crook. This devil is set up to be the wicked. So with that, I'm going to end the lesson. Lord willingly, it was edifying. If you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the law, statutes, commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, or whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Elohim, La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rachakadas Wakatham. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time, I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Mawaf lababal. Shalom.